I love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the early morning edition of Outsiders Opinions. I am joined by the man who may have breakfast in one hand, but I know he has his picks in the other, Austin.
That's one of your better intros, Kevin. I really do.
Hey,
I really do like that one. But yeah, we are recording the morning of the NBA playoffs. This will be posted right afterwards. I hate that the NBA does it to us, but I'm excited the playoffs are here nonetheless.
Yes, I'm very excited. Sorry, I gotta also have breakfast in my hand, so yeah, I don't like the schedule, but it's great to see you, talk to you about playoffs and these predictions, man. I don't know where you want to start, but this is probably gonna get busted.
Yeah, this is tough. This will be I think, a great playoffs. But let's start in the West. With any series you want.
We'll go Thunder Pelicans because to me that kind of seems like the easiest, and it's from the top. I'm going Thunder in 6. I think it will be a tough series, but the Pelicans don't have Zion, which really hurts the Pelicans' chances.
Yeah, I don't think the Pelicans have much of a chance here without Zion, so I have the Thunder winning in 5.
Okay. And now we go to the Mavs Clippers and round 3. And I can't do it, Austin. I can't pick the Mavs. I can't. I go back and forth. You know, Kawhi's dealing with injuries, but it just seems like Kawhi is the glass slipper and the Clippers are Cinderella because he's going to be healthy for this game and he's going to be vintage Kawhi. I can remember the game 6, Kawhi closing it out in the AAC as I was watching on my TV. So I think Kawhi, you also got James Harden now. These are two different teams, but the thing that almost had me go for the Mavs is Kyrie. This is the best second star Luka's had against the Clippers in the playoffs. Luka's probably the best Luka we're seeing right now. So I think it's going to be a really good series, but I have the Clippers winning in 7.
Okay. Yeah, I anticipated that you would go against your favorite team. It's a Kevin occurrence that is to be expected. I had the Mavs winning in 6. Finally getting over the hurdle. I mean, I had the Kings doing basically the same thing against the Oilers. The Kings and Oilers had played 3 series in the last 3 years. I know the Mavs haven't played against them since 2022, but I still feel like it's a common occurrence. These teams do know each other extremely well. But this is a different Luka. This is a new team with Kyrie, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. I think they'll go far.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so glad they're doing it. And yeah, this team is well built. And Luka's going to show up to play. Luka's numbers in the playoffs just against the Clippers are incredible. So it's going to be good for people watching. It's not going to be good for me because of my heart. But yeah. Now we'll go to Timberwolves versus Suns. I'll let you take this one.
Timberwolves versus Suns is very tough. I know one of my friends is very supportive of the Suns here, not necessarily because he likes them, but because he really does think they're going to win. The Suns, I think, are 3-1 or 4-1 against the Timberwolves during the regular season, but I think the T-Wolves are the better team. They get Cat back, and that could be huge. The Suns are not a deep team. And I can see it going 7, but I think Ant will show up, Rudy Gobert will show up, and like I said, the Timberwolves will win in 7.
I agree with you. I have the Timberwolves winning in 6. I just don't believe in the depth of the Suns, so I do think KD and Booker will play well for 2 games, but can they do it over the series? I am curious with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, do we see KD play the 5 and try to go small?
No, Yusuf Nurkic has played well defensively. I feel like they're going to go Yusuf Nurkic, but it is tough, and that is a valid question to ask.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting because of Ant and then Rudy Gobert. Will he get redemption in the playoffs? But yeah, so I have them advancing. Now we have Nuggets versus Lakers. This one's pretty cut and dry. Nuggets in 5. Maybe I think the Lakers squeak out 1 win.
I have the Lakers squeaking out 2. I feel like they could do that. They're a very streaky team, and they could win. They could go down 2-0 and then tie it up 2-2 and then end up losing the last 2 games. I think the Nuggets win in 6.
Yeah, this Nuggets team, it's unbelievable that they're the 2 seed and they didn't get the 1 seed, but they're contenders in my opinion. So we can just go Nuggets versus Timberwolves, 2 versus 3.
I think it's going to be a great matchup, but I think the Nuggets are the better team. They have more experience. They have the better player in the series. I have the Nuggets winning in 7.
Okay, I have Nuggets winning in 6. I also thought maybe Jamal Murray's still getting healthy, so the Nuggets aren't fully at their best in round 1, but I think they will be at their best in round 2. So it's just going to be tough to beat this team for anyone in the West because of Jokic, because of his supporting cast and what they were able to do last year. And I'm really curious about Christian Brown. We talked about him. Who fills that role that Bruce Brown left in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think he definitely can, but we'll obviously have to see.
Now we go to Thunder Clippers. You have Thunder Mavs. I'm going Thunder because the Clippers, Kawhi will sadly get injured or he'll be dealing with something. I know he's dealing with something now, but I think he's going to be a full go against the Mavs. Thunder, I'm not sure. So I have the Thunder winning in 6.
I think this would be a close series no matter which of the Clippers or Mavs end up facing the Thunder. But I have the Mavs winning in 7. I think the Mavs have the better player in the series. I think they have the second best player in the series, or the best second player in the series because, I do really like Chat or Jalen Williams. Kyrie is better than both of those guys, and he also has the experience of winning a title and being very impactful on a winning team. So I think the Mavs end up winning in a very close series in 7.
Yeah, I've told you before, I'm not scared of any team in the West besides the Nuggets as a Mavs fan. Because of Luka, looking at this team about the Mavs, I'm amazed. Because they got the second star. They have role players. Do you agree with me? They got Kyrie as a second star when he's healthy and he's focused is great. You got that all-star. You got that top 5, top 3 NBA player. And the role players are very good. It's just, can they step up? You got PJ Washington. He's never been in the playoffs before. I think Gafford was in the playoffs once with the Bulls.
he played well against Joel Embiid.
Okay.
He's
So
one
you have
in that series.
And then Dante Exum, though, he's been in the playoffs, but can he play up to it? So that's the only questions. But this team looks really good. And if it just wasn't the past experiences with the Clippers, I'd probably have them going far. But yeah, that's not a bad pick. So you have Mavs versus Nuggets. I have Thunder versus Nuggets.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
This one is the Nuggets to me. I would be curious how Chet plays against Jokic, but I have the Nuggets winning in 6. I know I've said that a lot. I just don't know if these games all go 7. To me, the Thunder, will be a big test for the Thunder against the Nuggets, but to me, the Nuggets are just the best team in the West, and they deserve credit since they are the defending champs.
Yeah, I also had the Nuggets winning in 6. I think they're the better team. I think Jokic is the best player in the series, especially with how he's played in the playoffs. I know everyone's like, oh, Luke is such a great playoff performer. Jokic averaged basically 30, 14, and 10 on 58, 42, 88 shooting. We haven't seen that before. And when you pair Jamal Murray with that, it's just a recipe to win a lot of games. And while I do think the Mavs are really good, I think maybe next year's their year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it gives them that time to develop together, get that camaraderie, because we saw this with this Nuggets team as we talked about it. They got Aaron Gordon, and then they were without Jamal Murray. And then once they got everyone back, they were able to go for it. But yeah, the only way the Mavs could win a series like this, and I think it'd be tougher for the Thunder, because I just don't see that second star established like Kyrie would be for the Mavs. The Nuggets have to not be playing at their best. The role players have to be missing shots, because there's no way Jokic doesn't show up in this moment. Jokic is
every series of his career, basically, he's shown up. So I would definitely assume him to be there. Like you said, the players that maybe are a little bit more unorthodox, like a Christian Brown, like a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, would have to be the ones to fail him.
Or if Jalen Williams just goes 30 for a game, or Chet Holmgren goes 30,
Or
it
PJ
has to be
Washington.
So that's what would have to happen. So it's just a tough uphill when you're against such a team like that. So we have the Nuggets advancing. We both have the Nuggets advancing to the West, which I'm not surprised by. They're the best team
Yeah, I agree.
in the West. Yeah. Now we can go to Celtics, who are the best team in the league by their record. I have them beating the Heat in 4, especially with Jimmy Butler dealing with an injury.
I think I've asked you this question before, or at least I've asked you this question through another person, meaning that you were there when I asked another person this question. Do you know the two teams that the Celtics are most similar to?
Oh, yes. You asked me on the podcast. It's the KD Warriors, which I believe, is that 16, 17?
Yes, 2017 Warriors. And the 1999.
And
1996 Bulls. So I think they made quick work of the Heat in 5. This Celtics team, this is the year for them. And if it's not this year, I don't know when it is.
That's a great point. Now we go Cavaliers Magic. I'm going to defer this one over to you, because this one was tough.
I have Magic in 5. The Cavs have had a very bad end of the year. Evan Mobley has struggled. Donovan Mitchell has not been himself. While the Magic have been fighting for their divisional win for a while now, and while they haven't been playing their best, I really like how their team's built. It's a defensive team that's built around the star and Paolo Banchero, and I like their team. I have Magic in 5.
I have the Magic in 6. But yeah, the Cavs, I believed in them a lot last year, and they just couldn't put it together. And I think that team was better than this year's team. And coaching, I think Jamal Mosley is a great coach. And I'm curious. I don't know if the Cavs can show up. I feel like Donovan Mitchell will show up. But I just think the Magic have defense too. That's really comes down to it. So yeah, I have Magic in 6.
Yeah, that's a good pick. So Bucks Pacers is next. Giannis will miss a good bit of this series. The Bucks have had a bad end of the year. I had the Pacers sweeping the Bucks, a la 2017 Pelicans sweeping the 2017 Trailblazers when they still had Dame and CJ McCollum. That's what I would equate this to. And yeah, I have it being an ugly series. The Pacers, after beating the Bucks in the in-season tournament, I think it was the semifinals. Was it the semifinals?
Yes, because Pacers faced the Lakers in the finals.
Yeah, and the Lakers ended up winning that. But I think the Pacers dominate them here and win in 4.
Dude, I almost went with that pick. I was like, man, so everything points to it not going well. And I'm like, I wonder if Dame without Giannis kind of goes like the Dame against where you saw with Portland, where he was the guy. And maybe he goes off in the playoffs.
Like I said, though, 2017 Trailblazers, they were the higher seed. They were the 3 seed. They were the 3 seed against a 6 seed New Orleans, a New Orleans team that had AD and Drew Holiday, and Portland did not win a game. So I feel like that could be what happens here. They have a lot of good players on Indiana, not just Halliburton, but I really like Miles Turner. I like
Miles Turner.
Yeah. They have some good players. I really do enjoy their team, but we'll see if the Bucks can muster some games. But how many games what do you have?
I have Bucks winning in 7. Maybe Dame turns it on, but you also have Doc Rivers pulling it, and
there's just too much drama for me.
I know. I should have. I'm going to stick with the Bucks pick. I want to believe in it because maybe Giannis gets better or it comes in later in the games. I think. But yeah, oh man, you don't want to mess with it. But I think maybe we see Dame finally live up to that trade because I know he's a great player. It's just he has not played well this season.
Yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, that's tough. And then we have Knicks versus Sixers. I just think the Knicks have more depth than the Sixers. I don't see them losing the first round.
I agree with that. I have the Knicks winning in 7. I think it'll be close because I think Embiid is going to play well, even though I don't think he's 100%. But also Maxey and how Nick Batum played last game. I mean, if he's playing like that, they could definitely win this series. I will say that this is the only series in the East that I have above 4-1. Every other series I have 4-1 or faster defeats. This is the only series in the East that I have going past that. I think it's because they're a really close matchup.
Yeah. Because you also have who's the starting center right now for the Knicks?
It's Isaiah Hartenstein, but he's been a very good defender this year. He's one of the best defenders in the league. So I think while Embiid will go well or will play well, I don't think he's going to be averaging 35 a game.
Yeah. That was my only concern. I'm like, who's going to defend Embiid? Because Mitchell Robinson's out, Julius Randle's out, but we'll have to see. So I have Bucks versus Knicks. And
how many games did you say the Knicks would beat? The
Knicks in 6.
Okay.
So I have the Bucks because I feel if the Bucks get here, they're going to be back. Giannis is going to be back, mostly healthy, and then better Dame. I think they went in 6, and I think this is where we talked about the rotation for the Knicks and just the heavy minutes they've been playing. I think this is where it starts to falter.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like the Bucks are a very much. I know this is it's not one and done, or I'm going to say one or done. I don't feel like they go super far, but if they go, it's all based on Giannis. I feel like they could go all the way if Giannis is playing and Dame is playing like they have been in the past. But this year, Dame's been so bad. That's the X factor. It's all depending on how Dame plays. But
and I think I think that's a good kind of bet. Like, oh, I'm betting on this great player to find it again.
True, but you also have a coach that is not necessarily the most conducive to winning. But I have Knicks versus Pacers, and I have it being a sweep for the Knicks. The Knicks are one of the better defensive teams in the league. Jalen Brunson's played better than Halliburton this year. Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo have had resurgent years. I'm really excited for this team, and I think they make it to the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, I thought about that, and I've kind of, my prediction. I think I've told people here, it may be out of spite. I don't think as long as Jalen's the number one, he can take a team to a conference finals by himself.
We'll see.
So, that would prove me wrong, but that's my thing. I was like, I just don't think the Knicks can do it. So, but we'll have to see. Not a bad pick, because their depth is great. It's just, I think when you have that primary defender on you, I'm curious to see how Jalen does that for a consistent amount of time.
You have a chance to answer.
Yes. So we both have Celtics versus Magic, and I'll let you go first.
I have the Celtics sweeping the Magic. So I have both second round series being sweeps. I really like this Magic team, but this Celtics team, again, is comparable to some of the best teams ever. And again, if this is not the year, I don't know when it is.
I have Celtics beating the Magic in 6. I think it's going to take a little bit for the Celtics to like stay focused, but they definitely have the capabilities to do it. Now I have Celtics versus Bucks. You have Celtics versus Knicks.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I have Celtics winning in 7. I think because of just Giannis being healthy, Bucks can take it to 7, but this Celtics team is so good. You got KP, who's not even your... To me, the difference is Drew Holiday. That's my biggest thing. I can't believe the Celtics were able to get him. I can't believe the Bucks let him go. We saw how he helped the Bucks do it to get their championship. He's just a versatile defender. And then we'll see what KP does. And then maybe Jason Tatum turns it on. And because we know he can turn it on. He turned it on against the Sixers. But Celtics, to me, advance to the finals to face the Nuggets.
I have the same thing. I have Celtics in 5. I think the East is not necessarily all that close regarding series, except for that Knicks 76ers series, which is funny because it's a 2-7. But I have the Celtics powering their way through, where they go 4-1, 4-0, 4-1 to get to the finals versus the Nuggets. So we both have Celtics Nuggets. I would like to say this is so much different than our NHL one, which, again, both of your teams have made the final. If you guys haven't seen that video, we posted it yesterday. Please check it out. You had the Panthers versus Vegas, but I had the Panthers and Vegas out in the first round.
Yeah.
And then I had Stars, Hurricanes, and you had the Stars out in the first round. So we vehemently disagree on NHL. But NBA, this may come down to how long we have the series going.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether
Well, I wonder who you have winning.
Admittedly. Whether it goes good or bad, because of how close we are.
Yeah. And I wonder, who do you have winning this championship? Because we might disagree.
I'll let you go first.
I'm going Nuggets. I think they go back to back. I know the Celtics team is really great. You talked about it. But Jokic. Those guys had, trying to think, the best players in those series when they won the championship on their team. Maybe because I'm thinking like Bulls, it's easy, like no argument. Was LeBron the best player in that series for the championship against the 17 Warriors?
Oh, I mean, the 17 Warriors ended up beating LeBron.
Yeah. So that would be like, am I...
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Because when they won...
That's really close. That's really close. The 2018 LeBron... Oh, but he hurt his hand. I'd say definitely LeBron was the better player in 2015. So in 2015, LeBron was the better player. The KD LeBron was arguable in 2017 and 2018. But in 2015, that was still MVP Curry. But it wasn't 2016 Curry. I think LeBron was the better player in that series. So I think that's the last time.
Well, because I'm talking about, like, you have year 2 stats, and that's with the Celtics. So you got 96 Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
17. The difference here is the best player. So you can I'm going to go, because you had, like, Curry and KD. To me, that's better. Like, those were 2 best players, 2 of the, like, top 10, maybe even top 5 players at that time. So that's going to be, like, my asterisk. Like, they were better than LeBron because he did have Kyrie.
KD may have been better than LeBron in 2017.
Yeah. So that's why I'm going here. Celtics can make it tough. But can you stop Jokic when he's that best? He's the best player right now. And
they'll be throwing great defenders at him. Al Horford's a great defender. And while you can't stop Jokic, you can definitely slow him down. It's going to come down to the guys that, for the Nuggets, it's going to come down to MPJ, Aaron Gordon. MPJ last finals, had a bad finals, but they were facing the 8-seeded Heat. And the Nuggets ended up capitalizing because of how well Jokic played. That won't be the same here. If the Nuggets win, which I have the Celtics winning, so we do disagree here. I have the Celtics winning in 6, with my finals MVP being Jason Tatum. I'm sure your finals MVP is Jokic.
Oh, yeah, my finals MVP. I forgot. But, yeah, it's Jokic.
Yeah. But it's going to come down to Christian Brown, KCP, Aaron
Jamal Murray
Gordon,
could go off though.
MPJ. Say again.
Jamal Murray could go off. Like he had 40.
That's true, but they have Tatum, Drew Holiday, KP, and Jaylen Brown, 4 former All-Stars. And Al Horford off the bench is a former All-Star. You can play an All-Star lineup, literally, and then still have a very, very good player in Derek White, especially this year, who almost made an All-Star game. So you have 6 All-Star caliber players, and then you still have good guys behind that, like Sam Hauser, who's a great shooter, or some of the other guys that they have on their team that I think are good. So it's going to come down to the depth. We know Jokic will drop 30 a game or 28 a game at least, while averaging 13 rebounds and 8 assists, and that's low for him in the playoffs. And then Jamal Murray will average 26, 6, and 8. But it's what will KCP, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, everyone else, Peyton Watson, who will play considerable, at least defensive minutes, 18, 20 minutes a night. How will those guys perform? That's the key to this series, because they need their depth to show up, because the Celtics have that advantage.
I would also say, does Jaylen Brown have a better playoffs this year? Because there was always that left-hand talk. He couldn't really go to his left hand, and defenses capitalized on that. And I know I said it last year. Celtics, can Jason Tatum flip the switch? Because he has that level to be that top guy in the NBA, to do what Jokic and Luka, like we talked about. Talk about LeBron and KD and Curry when they did that. Curry when he won the finals over the Celtics. Can Jason Tatum be the guy with the ball in his hands that he showed against the Sixers? Can he do that at the biggest moment against the best players right now? That's my thing. I don't trust Jason Tatum more than I trust Jokic. Like, Jokic is just a given, like we talked about.
Yeah. This Celtics team's so deep, though, and depth matters in the NBA. So I'm India going with the Celtics. This may come down to the finals, or if we're very wrong, it'll definitely come down to how many games we have each team winning.
But yeah, no, this is, to me, the NBA is a little bit easier to know who the top teams are. NHL, anything could happen. And I would have had the Stars winning in the first round if they just weren't facing the defending Cup champions that broke my heart last year. So,
yeah, I would say, I was about to ask you this question, but you basically just answered it, is which of your 2 brackets are you more confident in? It's definitely the NBA for me, because the NHL is so unpredictable every year, and that's what makes it so fun to watch. And the NBA is fun to watch, but it takes a little bit to get going, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I didn't really watch much of the first round last year because the Mavs weren't in it, but I'm going to be dialed in this year because the Mavs are in it. And I'm always going to be watching the NHL because we've talked about it. The environment for a Stanley Cup playoff game is unrivaled by anything else. Like, in the American sports, like, I'm sure Olympic games, World Cup games are a different level, but consistently Stanley Cup playoffs deliver.
If we go year by year, I think they are the best professional playoffs around.
Mm-hmm. Great way to say it.
I still like March Madness more, but that is college. So if we're going professional, NHL is by far my way to go.
But yeah, and we're excited for the playoffs. And maybe this gets a little bit more interesting, but I will harp on the play-in. Wow, they're the 10-9 seed for battling, or the 9-8 battling for the 8th seed was super close. Wasn't the deficit like 20 points between each winner?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, so we'll just leave it there. But no, great seeing you, Austin, in the morning. Hope you enjoyed this early morning Outsiders Opinions, and we hope you stayed with us as we will cover the playoffs. We will watch it. We'll give you our thoughts, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.